All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second open access. A little bit of a cadence to our January and kind of missed February, but here we are in March, and we will do this every month. I hope everyone can hear me okay. I'm looking forward to hearing your questions as we get towards the end of this. Let me begin, though, with two things. First, we changed our website last month. We've always been committed to transparency here and providing you guys information. We've added a new page around accountability. Our divisions have very clear goals, and like many things in the financial world, they're very easily measured. And so if you go to our webpage, you'll see an accountability metrics tab where we attempt to show you exactly what we're trying to do in each division. Some are more mathematical than others. And report on those to you guys on a quarterly or semi-annual basis whenever we get the data for each of them. This for me was important in setting the tone on how we want to run this department even better than it's been run in the past. And so proud of that effort that's gone into that and what our divisions are doing, and wanted to point you all towards that. Second, and this will be a little bit of a longer one, I want to tell you about this week because it is a big week for the Department of State Treasurer. We've got a number of efforts coming to culmination this week, and so I'm just going to go through my calendar a little bit to walk you through some of those. Today, we're going to file the Investment Modernization Act of 2025. I've talked at length, probably too much, about how we govern our investments, why we should change that, and how I think we should change that. And after a number of conversations with many different stakeholders, we've gotten to the point where we'll file that bill today with strong sponsorship in both the Senate and the House. We're excited to change the way that we do things so that we can deliver on better performance. If you go to that accountability metrics page, you'll see on the investment management division, we have not been delivering the investment performance we need to deliver to make the pension funds work. This is our attempt to change that. We will take the sole fiduciary model, easy for me to say, and move it to a board of trustees. There's a lot of details that will come with that, and we'll talk to everybody about that over time. But we're excited to get to this point after months and frankly years of looking at how to do the investment management side of what the State Treasurer's Department does better. Tuesday is all about state and local debt. In fact, more state debt than anything. We've got our calls with the rating agencies. As I think through my most important accountability metric, the AAA rating of this state is paramount. So we'll be in front of our rating agencies affirming that AAA rating in advance of some issuance later this year that you will have heard about at the Council of State meeting last month. So that's also really important for us. Wednesday, we have the Banking Commission, and FOD runs the bank for the state. So that's important, as well as a series of legislative meetings around the state health plan. We've talked a lot about what's going on with the state health plan. We've tried to be extremely transparent in the challenges that we face in that plan, the $507 million gap that we need to close for 2026. Part of the solution, of course, has been to propose change in premiums for the first time in 8 years, but there are other parts of that solution. We've asked the General Assembly for a record appropriation and an increase in that appropriation beyond what they've done historically. In a world where the budget is tight, appropriately so, to make sure that we fund everything we need in the western part of the state, that is a big ask. But I think I'm hopeful that we will get there with them contributing about $100 million to that effort as well. The balance of that will need to come from some combination of benefit design and providers. And so we've got a number of efforts going on there. You will have heard about those at the March Board of Trustees meeting, but also the May Board of Trustees meeting, where we'll make some final decisions around the state health plan. Thursday might be the biggest day of the week. 10 a.m., we are going to have a press conference announcing a major initiative in adoption of technology in this department. I'm going to save the headlines of that for Thursday, but it is a big deal, something that we've been working on as a department for an extended period of time. And we're really excited to get to Thursday to announce all of that to everybody. That will particularly impact unclaimed property division as well as state and local government. And then Friday really is a bridge into April, where a couple of things are going on. First, we have one of our metrics around Helene relief. The end of the month, we seek to get to have over $50 million out. We're at 30 and change today. We have a series of municipalities who are voting and sending us documents back so that we can send them their loans. We hope to exceed that and get all the way to the 98 million by the end of June. And then April is Financial Literacy Month. So we will launch our inaugural financial literacy newsletter at the end of next week, which we're really excited about. The team has been spending countless hours getting that to a place that it'll be very useful for everybody who is on this podcast, but also who has any financial dealings really with the state of North Carolina. So excited to do that. And I will end my comments there. Thank you all for being here. Happy to take questions about just about anything. Right. One other kind of quick personnel announcement before I open it up to questions. As many of you might know, Debbie Tomasco has led the state and local government division for us for several years now. Debbie has elected to retire. We're going to miss her. She's been a wonderful public servant and done a great job leading that division. I've asked Jeff Poley, who runs the Hurricane Helene piece of what we do, as well as some other pieces, to step in as the interim director on that side. Jeff will not be a candidate for the permanent director seat there. We want to run a full search for someone who can take the state and local government department here to even higher and better levels. And so we will announce that formally later today that Jeff will take that interim role. We will miss Debbie as she departs in a couple weeks. But that wanted to make sure that personnel announcement was made out front before we go into any other details. So it looks like Ray, you're up.
Good afternoon. I wanted to follow up. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. Wanted to follow up on the discussion last week about the the pension system contributions to the state. Your office reacted rather adversely to the governor's proposal, but then again, you've been talking, including to WRAL over the weekend, about the need to increase pension returns so the draw on the budget is less. There's an escalator clause in there. That's what seems to be the point of the issue. And that escalator has a fairly unlimited reach. It seems to go up pretty much automatically every year, making a bigger and bigger draw on the state budget. Is the governor off base for wanting to take you seriously and saying that the returns from the pension plan, investment returns, need to go up so the draw is less?
It's a fair question, and thank you for it. I don't think the governor is necessarily off base. I think he is premature, in my opinion. Investment performance is not something that's going to manifest tomorrow. It will manifest over time. As a conservative, I think we should spend money only after we have it, not in advance of anticipating it. The proposal that the governor made around funding the pension plans is a solid one. It's just not in keeping with current policy. So it would represent a slower debt paydown, if you will, of our pension deficit than what is current policy and what we would advocate for. That's the difference.
Okay, and follow up on that. When would it be appropriate to begin moving to the governor's structure? Second year of the biennium, the next biennium after that, or what do you think?
So every 5 years, we do what is called an experience review. We're scheduled to do that this fall. And in that experience review, we look at every assumption that underlies how we fund our pensions. One of them is how fast you pay down the pension debt. We have a kind of a 12-year pay down right now. That number is 15 in other states, and no surprise, in places like California, it's 40 years. So you have a difference of opinion on what the appropriate pay down rate is. There are states that are 5. So we are on the conservative end of the spectrum, but we are not on the far end of the spectrum there. But we also have a number of other pieces of that experience review that we need to look at. What is salary growth in the future? What is life expectancy in the future? What are pension returns in the future? So there are about 9 different important variables that go into that. I think the prudent approach to all of this is to consider them all collectively and conjunctively, and we'll do that this fall. It could be that the employer contribution rate declines as a result of that experience review. My best guess is that it would. And then the pension returns, if they are better than they have been, will help it decline further. right, maybe moving on to Jane. Jane, did you have a question? Perhaps not. Charisse?
Hi, my question is, where's your office at as far as adding Bitcoin to the state pension plan? Have you guys made any movement with that?
So the bill remains, I believe, in the House that would authorize us to own that physically. To us, Bitcoin is part of the much broader conversation around how we make investments in the state and how we govern those investments. You'll see when you see the filed draft of the Investment Modernization Act that there is some language in there that largely mirrors what was in the Digital Assets Act or the crypto bill, enabling us to consider a broader range of tactical solutions. We remain committed to having a strategic voice from the legislature and from the governor, for that matter, in these conversations around how we make investments. But the tactics, in our opinion, should be left to the investment professionals, subject to a board structure. Any follow-up there?
No, thank you for answering my question.
Sure. Lynn.
Oh, she's muted.
Lynn, I think you're muted.
Yourself. Does anybody else have a question while we're waiting for Lynn?
Okay. Happy to take any other questions. Well, it looks like we only have the one. Anything else from anyone? Shall we wait?
You, Lynn, tell her she can follow up with me
Okay.
if she had the question for you.
All right. Lynn, if you have a question you want to follow up with us directly, we're happy to take it that way. Or if you want to send it in the chat, we can do it that way. But it doesn't look like we can figure out how to hear you. You feel free to follow up with Loretta directly. But if there are no other questions, then we will call it a day. Going once, going twice. Thank you, everybody, for your time and attention. We've got a lot going on here, and appreciate your help in communicating that to everybody. As always, we are open for questions in and outside of this forum at your convenience. So please reach out when you have them. Thank you.